Weewaawo mukulikeyo okuva mu Paalamenti ng'ababaka ba Paalamenti bakubaganya ku nsonga zaake okutyoboola erinnya lya myuka sipiika ng'ayita ku mutimbagano. Tukwaniriza ku UBC TV era tutuuse n'amawulire mu lulimi Oluganda. Nze Marion Nakitene ne Yusufu Ssenyomo wali ku lulimi olw'obubonero. Katusooke nate tulabe ebisinze ku binaabyo nkomewo. UBC leero nannyini ttaka ly'e Kasanje akkiriziganyiza n'abatuuze. Ate era UPDF kati ebyokulwanyisa ebisomosezza ne ku Kidyeri. Hajat Misa Kabanda yasamudde eby'ettaka ly'e Naggulu. Era ogenda kulaba n'abakugumbya obulamu baagala abasawo b'oku byalo bateekebwe ku bukiiko bwa ssente za Parish Development Model. Weewaawo twesiima okuba ng'oteze UBC TV ntandika ekitundu ekisooka ne gavumenti yakwekenneenya ebyetaagisibwa Sacco okufuuka bbanka mu butongole okwetooloola ebitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo kisobozese bannayuganda abali mu byalo nabo okusobola okweterekera ensimbi zaabwe. Bino byogeddwa amyuka omukulembeze w'eggwanga retired Major Jessica Alupo bw'abadde atongoza Sacco ya Millennium Sacco 2012.
Nga Centenary, Stanbic, Standard Chartered ne banka za gavumenti okuli eya Uganda Development Bank, Housing Finance Bank ne Microfinance Support Center nga zino okusinga tezeetanidde nnyo kukakalabiza mirimu gyazo mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyesudde ebibuga nga Karamoja. Ngeno ensonga lwaki gavumenti erina enteekateeka y'okutuusa obuweereza wamu n'okutumbula banka za gavumenti n'endala mu bitundu ebyesudde ebibuga. Wabula newankubadde Sacco ez'enjawulo zandyagadde okufuuka banka ezeetongodde, banka enkulu egaba olukusa luno erina emisoso egirina okuyitibwamu Saccos ezimu zezitasobola kutuukiriza.
It's not simple. It's very strict. Of course, the capital requirements are high, but also the regulatory mechanism is very strict.
Amyuka omukulembeze w'eggwanga retired Major Jessica Alupo ng'ayogera ku mukolo gw'okubaganya ebirowoozo ko ya Millennium Sacco 2012 enkya ya leero ategeeza nti Sacco eno eyambye okutumbula embeera z'abantu b'omu byalo nga bayize ebirungi ebiri mu kutereka.
It's about the time that too much independence of the central bank is looked into, is studied, and a solution on how to make it flexible enough to enable other financial institutions to operate without infringing on them so much.
Ekitebe kya Millennium Sacco 2012 kiri mbalala nga kati abakiddukanya basobodde okuteeka amatabi 7 mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo. Millennium balina obuwumbi bwa Uganda obusoba mu 6 ne bammemba 16,000 nga bakitadde ku muggalo gwa COVID-19 okuyigiriza abantu okweterekera. Omutandisi wa Millennium Sacco 2012 Bishop wa Ankole Diocese Right Reverend Dr. Sheldon Fred Mwesigwa asabye gavumenti okutumbula banka z'oku byalo.
If Uganda is to be truly independent, why don't we promote local banks? Why? Well signed. Is planning to raise the bank reserve amount from 25 billion to 150 billion, which you set aside and then start anew now, 150 billion. Now, how many Ugandan initiatives are going to make banks?
Okusinziira ku mukugu okuva mu kibiina ekiwola ensimbi ki Credit Union Institutions, Sacco kola bulungi okusomesa wamu n'okusikiriza abavubuka nsonga nkulu nnyo.
A responsibility becomes for the Sacco teach the members how to manage that loan. Teach them the importance of the repayment plan, whatever it is that's established. Teach them the importance of not trying to borrow more money than you can pay back.
Ebyo nga bikyali bityo, President Yoweri Museveni awadde Millennium Sacco 2012 mmotoka ekika kya double cabin pickup ebayambeko mu mirimu gyabwe. Ndi Nafuka Farida mu Kampala.
Weewaawo ate oluvannyuma lw'ebitongole by'enguudo ekya Uganda Roads Authority wamu ne bayinginiya ba UPDF okusaawo ekidyeri okusobozesa amagye okutuuka mu nfo ezirimu abayeekera ba ADF nga bayita ku mugase muliki olutalo olutandise okubanguyira ekidyeri kino kiyamba nnyo emirimu gya UPDF ne amagye g'e Congo okutuuka mu bitundu ebya Ituri awakyali empulunguse z'aba ADF.
Ku kyalo Haibale ku nsalo ya Uganda n'eggwanga lya Congo okugenda e Borasi ly'ekkubo eryokusatu erikozesebwa amagye ga UPDF okuyingira munda mu ggwanga lya Congo. Kati UPDF ekozesa ekidyeri ekyateekebwawo ekitongole ky'ebyenguudo kiyinura okusaabazaako emmotoka z'amagye ne kalondo omulala eyeetaagisa mu lutalo.
Bring the ferry on River Semuliki was partly, to cut on the costs of supplying logistics by air to the forces, to the forward forces, because air helicopters take very small logistics. They take
okuva Haibale Borasi Boga ekkubo eriwezaako kilomita 50 nalyo likoleddwa kuyambako obutasaasanya nsimbi nnyingi ezaali zikozesebwa ku nnyonyi mu kikwekweto Suja.
Road you supply, it's cheap by road, and you take a lot of logistics, a lot of stuff. So it has helped us, supply by road, which is very, very cheap. Using helicopters is very, very expensive for this operation.
Bannansi ba Congo nabo kati bettanira oluguudo lwa Brasi nga bakozesa ekidyeri kino ku bwereere.
Oluguudo luno lwakolebwa Uganda UNRA eyalugulawo okuva Haibale okutuukira ddala Boga. Tewaliwo oluguudo lwonna, ekyo kyekituufu. Kati oluguudo lulungi, emmotoka ziyitamu, kazibeere motoka kikaaki, era n'abantu kati bali dukozesa.
Wetwogerera nga kati ekikwekweto Sujja kikozesa amakubo 3 okufefeta omulabe omuli Kasindi Beni Nobel okutuuka ku lutindo lwa Semuliki mu kakati wamu n'oluguudo lwa Brasi okugenda e Boga. Nze Haruna Mteesasira wano e Brasi munda mu ggwanga lya Congo.
Ate eyo kampuni egula amayumba ya Prime Estate bw'etekkiriza okuliyirira wamu n'okuwa abasenze ebyapa byabwe mu Town Council y'e Kasanje mu district y'e Wakiso oluvannyuma lw'okumala akabanga nga basika omuguwa ku ttaka lya yiika ezisoba mu 10 aba kampuni eno okweyama kuno bakukoledde mu lukiiko olukubiriziddwa Minisita y'ebyettaka Judith Nabakooba mu kitundu kino.
Okugugula n'akuttaka eriweza kumpi yiika 10 namba Town Council y'e Kasanje mu district y'e Wakiso kwalopebwayo wa Minisita w'ebyettaka Judith Nabakooba oluvannyuma lw'embeera okusooka ew'omulamuzi mu mwaka oguwedde. Kuva ku olwo Minisita w'ebyettaka yabakana n'eddimu ery'okutabagana enjuyi zombi.
Najja wano embeera teyali nnungi ng'abantu beemulugunya. Nenteekawo ttiimu eyakulirwa Baker Mugaina Assistant Commissioner and Registration.
Eno abamu ku batuuze balumirizanga aba kampuni ya Prime bwe baagala okubagobaganya mu ngeri y'amaakwetu so nga abamu ku bagagga bano baagala okubadondola okuva ku bibanja byabwe.
Ffe waffe baddeyo obusuulu babuzisa. Ewaffe baddeyo enfujjo mutula ne landlord ne mutuwesa bw'otema amabiddego n'omuwako enkotanya n'azitwala. Tebikyaliwo.
Olwaleero nze nagula ku ttaka ku bazzukulu ba Lobbato. Naye abamu ku bakozi ba Lobbato, ku bakozi ba Prime, ebintu byange byabyonoonye.
Okuva 2017 mu butuufu sifunanga kituufu. Naye maama mbadde nkusaba manyeko wootuula awatali wano nkubuulire bulungi ensonga zange.
wabula bano batuuse ku nzikiriziganya nga n'ababadde babanja ebyapa bya kubaweebwa
nga balina okufuna ebyapa n'endagaano zaggwako.
Abantu abalina endagaano zaabwe nga bagula ku bantu abalala nga temunnagula nabo mubatwale nti bagula ebiseera ebyo era kwebali bagamba.
Kati bwe nkugambye nti ebyapa 3 mbiina wano bate ebirala nabyo ngana twabigabadda bati buli omu alina endagaano nja kumuwa half of the time inairi namuwa bwe mba namuwa okusasula mu mwaka nja kumwongera emyezi 6 bwe mba namugamba asasula emyaka 2 nja kumwongera omwaka.
Kino minisita w'ebyettaka Judith Nabakooba kimuleesa akaseko ku matama.
Ate era ne wabeerawo ne beyasasula abatayinako bintu bya muzinzi ne babanga bagenda. Mwebaza okuba nga yakkiriza okuyingira mu nteeseganya n'abatuuze naye n'abatuuze mbebaza okuba nga bakkiriziganya okuteesa ne mukululuta.
Ono alowooza nti singa ba landlord bangi banakoopa enkola eno emirerembe ku ttaka jja kufuuka olufumo so nga ne gye bujjako naye wakuwewulwa ku buvunaanyizibwa bwe. Nze Robert Nyango wane Kasanje.
Ate minisita omubeezi w'ebyobutonde Beatrice Anywati mwategeeza nga gavumenti bw'eteekateeka okutandika okukozesa kkooti z'ebyobutonde. Minisita abadde ku Media Center wano mu Kampala ng'annyonnyola ku byava mu lukuŋŋaana lw'ensi yonna olukwata ku butonde olwali mu Bungereza.
Thank you very much, Eunice, for your kind remarks.
Nga wakayita nnaku bunaku abakyala mu nsi yonna okukuza olunaku lwabwe. Ekibiina kya Nuwodu nga kigatta abakyala abaliko obulemu kijaguza emyaka 2 nga kiweereza abakyala abaliko obulemu. Ku mukolo guno ssentebe w'ekibiina kino Ochai Rose Oboth alambuludde kkooti eziwozesa emisango gy'ebyobutonde zinaatera okutandika okukola. Bino minisita omubeezi w'ebyobutonde Beatrice Anywati abyogedde awayamu ne bannamawulire nga nnyonnyola biki ebyali mu lukuŋŋaana lw'ensi yonna olw'ebyobutonde olwatuula e Bungereza mu kibuga Glasgow gye buvuddeko.
Our courts of law where people run there, the funding which has now gone to be mainstreamed in the parish development model. These were the things, the missing links. Ku ky'obwetegefu bwa Uganda okutambulira mu byasalibwawo mu lukuŋŋaana olwo, Minisita Beatrice Anywati agambye nti Uganda yakutambulira nnyo mu pulogulaamu ez'okuzaawo ebibira n'enkolagana wakati wa bannabyabufuzi bannakyewa ne banneekolera gyange ate ne bannansi okulaba ng'obutonde bukuumibwa. Mulimu bennyini ttaka lyabwe ye twagala tubasasulire baveemu mu mabira tuzeeyo mabira yonna wamu. Kale ezo ssente budgeti twagiteekayo. Era mu lukuŋŋaana olw'ekenneenya ebyatuukibwako n'ebiteekeddwa mu nkola oluvannyuma lw'olukuŋŋaana lw'e Bungereza mu nsisinkano ebadde ku wooteeri ya Serena, ssentebe w'akakiiko k'ebyobutonde ku Paalamenti Lawrence Songa akubirizza bannakyewa n'abagabi b'obuyambi bakwatizeeko gavumenti okuziba emiwaatwa gy'ensimbi mu kutaakiriza obutonde.
Because of COVID-19, we could not collect enough revenue to fund our budget in Uganda. So in some of the areas of climate change, we are calling upon the development partners to come in so that they can take some aspects of the initiative that can help to address climate change in the country.
Omubeezi wa kamisona mu kitongole ky'enkyukakyuka y'obudde Bob Natif ategeezezza nga Uganda bw'eri ku ddimu ly'okuzzaawo ebibira.
Ekimu ku bye tukoze tugezaako okulaba nti tusesira okusimba emiti kubanga tumanyi nti emiti n'ebibira byonna bikolanga ebiyinza okuyambako okukwata emikeeje emibi.
Elizabeth Mwerinde Kasedde okuva mu Equity Bank asuubizza okuyambako naddala ku ludda lw'okubunyisa amawulire agataakiriza ebyobutonde.
Promotinga ebintu bye tukozesa nga tuva kukozesanga manda ebyokutema emiti ebyo tubijjewo tulabe nga tuyamba abantu baffe okukozesa byonna ebinasobola okutonoona bya butonde.
Balala babadde beebuuza obanga ddala gavumenti malirivu okutuukiriza ebisuubizo ebyo. Ensisinkano yeetabyemu abagabi b'obuyambi okuva mu mawanga amalala nga GTZ, FAO, British High Commission n'abalala. Edward Collins Juko, Brian Byaluwanga, muno mu Kampala.
Mu bufu bwe bumu obw'okulwanirira obutonde okulaba nga tebusaanyizibwawo, omusasi waffe Sura Kaguguba okuva Entebbe naye ayina ebyekuusa ku nsonga eyo.
Bano bakulembeddwamu ssenkulu w'ekitongole kino Dr. Babirega Kankwasa ng'ali wamu n'abakulu abalala. Omulimu gw'okubalambuza enteekateeka y'okulaakulanya ekifo kino gukoleddwa Ssentongo Hassan nga ye project manager wa Lupareria Group. Ono abayisizza mu mitendera nga bwe girambikiddwa ku lupapula luno olulambika enkulaakulana nga bw'eneefaanana.
Then we had points because that's what we wanted. Doctor was like, no, you people. I know developers. You will say you are developing your land.
The plot boundary,
is in the water. Yes, we have some in the water, yes. This line. This is the line, how is it? 35 meters in the water.
Ekitongole kino ekya Speak Hotel Limited twali twakiyimiriza kubanga engeri gye bali batambuzaamu emirimu yali ekosa ennyanja, so ne tubayimiriza nga kati olwaleero tubadde tuzze okulaba pulaani zaabwe.
Wano abakulu we bakizuulidde nga bwe wakyaliwo bingi ebirumira ebyetaaga okugonjoola nga tewannabaawo kintu kirala kyonna kikolebwa mu kifo kino.
Nga okusembezaayo ebizimbe wala n'amazzi at least obutadda wansi wa meters 2 n'ebirala ng'okukyusa ekifo we bagenda okulongooseza kazambi nayo basobola okukyongezaayo ne bakiteeka.
As soon as the developer meets the conditions that were laid out by NEMA, the permits will be given because NEMA is for development.
We are going to rely on information that the management of NEMA plus the developer are going to bring to us to advise them on way forward.
Mu ngeri y'emu Dr. Kankwasa agumizza abatuuze era n'abakakasa nga bwe watali ttaka lyonna lyali liyiiriddwa mu nnyanja eno, wabula n'asaba bekikwatako okwongera okulisenda nga balizza ekyengulu. Wano abakulu batutegeezezza nti ebikkanyiziddwako byonna baakubissa mu buwandiike, olwo abavunaanyizibwa ku kifo kino babaweeko kopi nga bwe banaabissa mu nkola baakukkirizibwa okweyongerayo n'emirimu gyabwe awatali abakuba ku mukono mu ngeri y'akatali kabbo kaliira mu luggya. Enteekateeka ey'okulaakulanya ekifo kino kwe kuzimba wooteeri emanyiddwa ng'eya Speak Resort n'ekigendererwa eky'okwongera ebyobulambuzi mu kibuga Ntebe. Nze Sula Kagugube, wano Entebbe.
Entebbe nga tuvuddeyo ky'ekibiina ky'obwannakyewa ekitakabanira eddembe ly'abakyala abaliko obulemu ekya National Union of Women with Disabilities of Uganda kyagala abakyala abaliko obulemu okuweebwa ebifo mu mirimu gya gavumenti nabo bateekebwe ku mwanjo basobole okwejja mu bwavu. Okwogera bino bannakibiina kino babadde bajaguza emyaka 2 nga balwanirira eddembe ly'abakyala abaliko obulemu.
Thank you very much, Eunice, for your kind remarks.
Nga wakayita nnaku bunaku abakyala mu nsi yonna okukuza olunaku lwabwe, ekibiina kya Nuwodu nga kigatta abakyala abaliko obulemu kijaguza emyaka 2 nga kiweereza abakyala abaliko obulemu. Ku mukolo guno ssentebe w'ekibiina kino Rose Oboth alambuludde ebituukiddwako mu bbanga ery'emyaka 2.
Our journey has been to make them know all this and so that they are able to understand, appreciate and demand for some of these rights. We have also seen the women's rights movement coming up, and for us our advocacy is that let's look at ourselves as women in totality. Let's not look at women with disabilities and other, but look at ourselves as women in totality so that when we are talking as women's rights movement, we are very inclusive in nature in all that we do.
Weewaawo bajaguza obuwanguzi obutuukiddwako, Ocha yagamba wakyaliwo okusomozebwa kunene abakyala abaliko obulemu ku mibiri gyabwe kwe basanga.
COVID needs, you need to wash your hands all the time. But as a woman with disability, as a single mother, not having any viable economic empowerment on a daily basis, and we are seeing soap now is at 7,000. So will this woman with disability be able to maintain herself with the high rocking prices of the essential commodities? So I think these are some of the things that for us we really need government to understand and see how best we can make intervention. Yes, special grant is there, but how many persons with disabilities are able to get this information about special grant? And when it comes, are they able to use this money properly, that we have seen the special grant making them upgrade to another level.
Akulira entambuza y'emirimu mu kitongole kino Eunice Among yennyamidde olw'ebikolwa eby'okunyigirizibwa n'okutyoboola kw'eddembe ly'abakyala ebiyitiridde ng'ate bwe kituuka ku baliko obulemu gujabagira.
Is hindering women with disabilities from fully being employed in various areas. Attitude. There is a burden that there is something that employers usually say, that having a woman with a disability employed, if someone is visually impaired, that person needs a personal assistant, which means you're employing two people. That equality actually starts with inclusion at the nearest level to you. What is that nearest level to you?
Ivan Juko, Flower Sempa, Susan Nagugudde, wano mu Kampala.
Weewaawo UBC leero tuwummulamu nkomo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri oluvannyuma lw'obubaka buno tosegoka.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily band of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's time to teach. Schools are open. In these days of COVID-19, teachers are not only giving knowledge, but protecting themselves and their students from the virus. As a teacher, you must ensure that students follow the set SOPs of always maintaining a distance of 2 meters from others in classrooms, dormitories, entertainment halls, school vans and playgrounds, wearing a washed and clean mask every day that covers their mouths and noses, and regularly washing their hands with soap and water. In addition to that, you must counsel students about stigma related to COVID-19 and discourage them from violence. Any violence against students from classmates, teachers or parents should be reported immediately to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Ensuring everyone's safety is key, so make sure students are out of class by the official closing time. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay. Dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Select option 2, school pay. Select option 1, pay fees. Enter student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Beat the back-to-school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's time to learn. Schools are open. As a student, school life is going to be different. You must follow the COVID-19 prevention measures, which include always maintaining a 2-meter distance from others in class, dormitories, entertainment halls, school vans and playgrounds, regularly washing your hands with soap and water, wearing a washed and clean mask that covers your mouth and nose every day, and encouraging your classmates to do the same. Your teachers will also guide you on how to follow SOPs. Don't engage in violence with other students. Report any cases of abuse by teachers or other children to a senior teacher. Those who don't follow the rules should be immediately reported to a class teacher for correction and further guidance. If you experience flu-like symptoms such as a sore throat, fever, dry cough or body weakness, immediately seek medical attention from the school nurse and inform your class teacher. Whenever you sneeze or cough, please remember to cover your nose and mouth with a bent elbow, tissue or handkerchief. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
There have always been hard times, but these days are harder than most. Everyone is hurting. Everyone needs help. But some among us are asking the question, what if we didn't have to go through life's hardest moments alone? What if we were in it together? And just by asking that question, he changed my son's life. He created an online crowdfunding platform for Ugandans to help raise money for each other.
Thank you, Nixon, for helping me.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Webale kubanga oli wamu naffe wano ku UBC TV ekitundu ekyokubiri kantandike n'abakugu mu byobulamu baagala ab'ebyobulamu ku mutendera gw'ebyalo bateekebwe mu nteekateeka ya gavumenti empya eya parish development model nga babateeka ku bukiiko obutondeddwawo ku miruka. Senkulu wa Chest ne Dr. Professor Francis Omaswa bategeezezza nti okubateeka ku bukiiko kyakuyamba okutambuza obulungi emirimu ku miruka egy'enjawulo.
Kakiiko ka pulogulaamu ya gavumenti eya Parish Development Model kuliko bassentebe ba LC ey'okubiri nga bano bagenda kubeera bassentebe b'akakiiko, Parish Chief nga ye muwandiisi, n'abakyala, chairperson w'akakiiko k'abavubuka, chairperson w'abaliko obulemu, akiikirira ekibiina ekiri mu buyinza, n'omutaka w'oku kyalo. Wabula ng'ate bo abasawo b'oku byalo bayitibwa VHT basuuliddwa bbali. Dokitera yaliko director w'ebyobulamu ebyenjawulo mu Ministry y'ebyobulamu, Professor Francis Omaswa agamba nti abasawo b'oku byalo balina okuteekebwa ku kakiiko kano olwo nno kisobozesa emirimu okutambula obulungi mu buli mbeera.
Development model is talking about data. These people have data from the communities, from every home. They have a register of the health status of every person in every home. They have mapped the homes, they visit the homes.
Wabula director mu kulondoola emirimu mu gavumenti ez'ebitundu John Genda Walala asimye endowooza eno era nga kino kijja kuyamba nnyo pulogulaamu za gavumenti mu maaso.
Tekitegeeza nti okuba nti olina obuweereza bw'okola ku muluka olina okubeera ku kakiiko. Ekyo kuba bwetugamba nti buli omu alina kyakola ojja kwesanga ne owa security ku muluka agamba njagala kubeera ku kakiiko.
Bino byonna bibaddewo nga abakugu mu byobulamu basisinkanye okulaba engeri bannayuganda gye beettanidde enkola ya performance of community engagement strategy ng'eneewa omukisa bannansi okulondoola ebyobulamu ku mutendera gwa wansi ng'eno yatongozebwa mu mwaka gwa 2020 n'ekigendererwa ekyokulwanyisa COVID-19 mu ggwanga. Aba Japan International Cooperation Agency nga bali wamu ne ACHES be bateeka ensimbi mu nkola eno okugezesebwa mu disitulikiti ya Amuru, Busia, Mukono ne Ngora. Japan International Cooperation Agency esabye gavumenti okutunuulira program n'okulaba ebyalo ebigivuddemu wabula etuusibwa mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo.
The government of Uganda and the Ministry of Health to expand our success model to other districts, and also not only in the Uganda but also the African countries.
Okusinziira ku bibalo mu district y'Engora abalina kabuyonjo bali ebitundu 95 ku buli 100 okuva ku bitundu 75 ku buli 100 mu mwaka gwa 2019 era nga abasawo b'oku byalo bakoze kinene mu kukubiriza abatuuze. Ivan Njuko, Docas Kimono.
Mwebale nnyo bannaffe olw'emboozi eyo n'olwakadde wano nno wetukomye era nsibulira wano nze Marion Nakitene ne Yusufu Ssenyimu ali ku lulimi olw'obubonero ate kumira mpera ku nkumire weraba.
The Budongo Forest in Uganda is northwest of the capital city Kampala, on the way to Murchison Falls National Park, and is located on the escarpment northeast of Lake Albert. The area situated between 1 degrees 37 north, 2 degrees 03 north, and 31 degrees 22, 31 degrees 46 east. It covers a gently rolling landscape, sloping down to the East African Rift. 4 streams, Waisuke, Sonso, Kamirambwa and Siba, drain the forest and flow into Lake Albert. Annual rainfall in the area is between 1,200 and 2,200 millimeters, the rainy season being from March till May and again from September to November, the dry season being December to February. The nearest town is Masindi, and much of the land around the forest is given over to crops, dwellings and villages, placing continuous pressure on the forest margins and leading to exploitation for building materials and bushmeat.
My name is Oyet Patrick. I work for National Forestry Authority as a forest supervisor in charge of Kanio Pabidi Ecotourism site. Kanio Pabidi Ecotourism site, it is located within Budongo Central Forest Reserve. And Budongo Central Forest Reserve, it is about 845 square kilometers, and it is homes of chimpanzees.
Located in Murchison Falls National Park, Budongo Forest Reserve is 793 square kilometers, of which only 53% is forest and the rest grassland. Budongo Forest boasts of a high biodiversity of 24 species of small animals, 9 of which are primates, 465 species of trees and shrubs, 359 species of birds, 289 species of butterflies, and 130 species of moth. The forest is renowned for its high number of mahogany trees and chimpanzees. The forest is believed to contain some 600 to 700 chimpanzees.
It is about 100 individuals in this community we are using for tourism purposes. The work is to ensure that the forest is protected, the ecotourism site, it is well managed in accordance with the acceptable guidelines. The population of Uganda is increasing at a high speed, and as well as the population, the nearby communities as well. So you find that the pressure on the forest is also increasing because most of the communities depend on forest resources such as firewood, medicines, and perhaps some timber.
As a result of this great biodiversity, 2 ecotourism sites have been set and optimized for tour activities, Kanio Pabindi and the Busingiro ecotourism sites. These 2 sites have chimpanzees that have been habituated for chimpanzee tracking. In Kanio Pabindi, 6 groups have been habituated. In the Busingiro ecotourism site, chimp tracking is most successful on the grid trial, where a 200-meter grid system ensures ease of access through the forest. For chimp tracking, it's best to start early around 7 a.m. The guides follow the daily movements of the habituated chimpanzee groups. Tracking chimpanzees is a thrilling experience where one gets to meet his or her closest cousins, having 98% DNA close to that of human being.
And whenever we find the couplings, we arrest them and prosecute them in the court of Uganda law. It is containing about 449 different species of trees and shrubs, of which we have celtis is one of them. We have also mahogany. We have also ficuses of different types. These are the trees which are the chimpanzees they feed on for their whole entire lives.
We had the wildlife conflict with the human, the communities living around here, because they would attack the chimps, because for them they were saying they are enemies. These chimps would come outside around their homesteads, pick fruits, share with them, but when they see them, they attack them and chase them away. And in that process, some chimps were also killed, and there's also chimps, in their response to defense, they also harm the communities. But when JJR realized that the communities are supposed to coexist with the wildlife, they came in and started sensitizing the communities. They did that in hand with the responsible body, the National Forestry Authority, sensitizing the communities on the importance of conserving the environment, not only the free species but also looking at the biodiversity, because for JJI they are much interested in chimps. So the communities picked. They started also going by the sensitization, picking the sensitization. As you all know, sensitizing communities, it is not easy. Some still have their attitude, which is backwards. It is not easy. We started involving in ourselves, also participating, and leading into formation of a CFM group. After forming the CFM group, they empowered us by opening up projects that are forest-related, like tree planting, fruit growing, which helped to build up relationship of communities and the biodiversities, including the chimps, baboons, the monkeys, and the what have you. So JJI came in and started a project of beekeeping in relation to see that these communities can coexist with the chimps. The chimps should not disturb them, and they should not disturb the chimps, because the chimps used to come attack the communities because communities had started carrying out illegal activities in the forest, going deep, hunting for wild honey, and also hunting for meat, which was a threat to the chimps because it is their area of residence. Then JJI came in and started mobilizing communities, came in, identified a group of communities, and started doing consultations on the projects that are supposed to be implemented here. We told them we want beekeeping. The reason as to why beekeeping was that with land, we could not have problems because we had already been allocated plots along the forest boundary, and which those plots are enough for siting the beehives. They said now, if you say we are supporting you in beekeeping, do you have experience in beekeeping? We told them we are demanding for the experience from you, because if you deliver the beehives, you also need to empower communities in skills, doing the beekeeping for business. By 2012, you remember I told you our agreement, we signed it in 2008, but it was still lacking, there were some gaps. JJI came in and said, we should help the communities review the CFM agreements. By 2012, JJI came in and reviewed the CFM agreements, where the beekeeping project was now put in the phase. JJI came in 2012, 2013, they started training the communities on beekeeping. By 2014, the first delivery of the hives was done. They delivered 200 beehives to 20 farmers. And the farmers, when they started responding, it started yielding good results, because now chimps started being friendly to the communities. They started coming out. Also our children, they were being born here, growing here without seeing chimps. They started seeing chimps. JJI said, so if we can continue supporting these people, the communities in beekeeping, by giving them all the requirements, it would be good for the chimps to come back and share with the communities. the patrols, illegal activities taking place, the wildlife conflict. Like the form for the beekeeping, it is able you to know that the farmer this season got these liters of honey, the propolis, and what have you. By reaching the farmer, you open the gadget, you pick the GPS location where the apiary site is, you interview the farmer, you ask the farmer how many liters, he's able to tell you, and you store information, you share it with the donor communities. That's what we've been using the data. Because when we sit here collecting the data, we again share it with the robot. We go to robot where the internet or whatever was installed, we upload it on cloud.
Jane Goodall Institute supported National Forest Authority in establishing and improving Kaniyo-Pabidi ecotourism site, which is an ecotourism site for chimpanzee tourism in Budongo Central Forest Reserve. The current fee for chimpanzee tracking is about for a Ugandan it's about $50 to $55. For a non-Ugandan, it's about $85 to $90. And in the peak season, the place receives quite a number of visitors. But in non-peak season, the place is not so busy. So we think it generates income, which the private operator shares with National Forest Authority, which income then is used in extending services of management of Central Forest Reserves. Local tourists coming to this place is still low, but I think there are efforts to advertise it to the public so that people can take advantage and get to know how chimps behave, but also get to know what this place, the packages it has, and so that more people can come. The tour operator, who is Mr. Wekesa, is doing a lot to make sure the place is advertised so that more people can take that chance of seeing chimpanzees in the wild, like in Budongo Central Forest Reserve. The tourism operation still has one major challenge of people getting to appreciate it. People have not yet appreciated the need to do tourism, especially Ugandans, but it's receiving quite a good turn-up from people outside coming to visit.
Chimpanzees are tracked in different areas in Uganda, and Budongo Forest is among the best chimpanzee habitats in Uganda, with 600 individuals, and about 100 are habituated for tracking at Kaniyo-Pabindi. In fact, only habituated groups of chimpanzees can be tracked in Budongo Forest. It is the largest natural mahogany forest in East Africa, covering an area of 825 square kilometers, located in the northwest of Kampala. It takes 3 hours to drive to the home of chimps. It is home to over 95 mammals and 360 bird species, and various activities are done here, but majorly chimpanzee tracking. This activity is mainly done at Kanio Pabindi, which borders Murchison Falls at the southern edge, hence about a 30-minute drive from Kachumba Nyobo Gate, and is directed by Uganda Wildlife Authority. There are 2 sessions to track chimps in a day, morning and afternoon, and tracking starts at 7 a.m., where the trackers meet at the information center, then briefed and led by skilled ranger guide to search for the mighty giants in the forest. Chimps in Budongo can also be tracked by a person on a tour from Old to Murchison Falls. In fact, it can be done as an ad on the itinerary, and the person has to be in good health with no cough, flu, or any disease that can be transmitted to the chimps. Chimpanzees in Budongo Forest can be tracked any time of the year, though the best time to visit would be from May to August, where the chance of viewing chimps is at 90%. In months like February, March, April, September, and early October, the chances are at 70%. When it comes to months of late October, November, December, and January, chances are at 50%, and hence viewing chimpanzees is difficult since trackers have to move long distances to find them. The reason is during this time there is scarcity of food, shelter, and maybe water in the nearest places. Therefore, they move to further areas to look for food. For one who is interested in having a one-day visit to Budongo Forest, it can also be organized. After chimpanzee tracking, travel back to Kampala, arriving in the evening at around 1900 hours. It seems a tiring day, but it is worth it as you'll have an amazing and unforgettable experience. The snares set by poachers cause a mutilation of the chimpanzees and other animals. The mahogany trees that still remain are cut and removed by itinerant apid elsewhere.
As an organization, we're involved in conservation of natural resources with a particular focus on chimpanzees. And Jane Gudo was founded by Jane Gudo in Gombe, in Tanzania. And with our focus of chimpanzee conservation, we picked interest in working in Budongo Central Forest Reserve because it harbors a population of chimpanzees. As per the 2010 census, it had about 530 chimpanzees, but up to date it has about 900 chimpanzees. Our interest to come into Budongo was to support the government institutions in conserving the population of chimpanzees here. And our interventions have been trying to look at how to improve the chimpanzee health. We do chimpanzee health monitoring, but as well as do support the district's neighbor Budongo with monitoring health of the humans that are on the periphery of Budongo Central Forest Reserve, the adjacent communities. We also support the authorities, NFA especially, with technologies that help in monitoring and research of chimpanzee population and chimpanzee behaviors, but also the people outside. These technologies are used by both NFA staff and local communities. We also do support NFA in extending services to the communities, including supporting communities' livelihood activities, but also we support local governments in supporting the communities that are living adjacent to private forests and community forests, even public forests that harbor chimpanzee populations. We do livelihood support like livestock. We do support them in crop husbandry, especially the non-palatable crops to the wildlife. We also support the communities in activities like beekeeping. We do support communities in water sources construction, and also do a lot of awareness creation on environmental education and chimpanzee behavior. We have done that to majorly reduce on the conflict of human-wildlife, because most people do not understand these animals, especially the chimpanzee, and if you enlighten them about the chimpanzee behaviors, then the conflict definitely comes down, which improves the coexistence between humans and the other primates. As an organization, we've worked in the Alberton region, the entire Alberton region, but with major focus of central forest reserves, because those are the reserves that majorly harbor big populations of chimpanzees. So we work closely with communities that are adjacent with those central forest reserves.
And Shoots Club, which is very active here. We've had a series of trainings. We had they gave us a chance to travel down Entebbe at the work center to go and have the staff. Majorly, I also went to as a patron. We got trained to come and bring back the message of conservation to our learners and the community.